My name is AKOC, MANHIEM. I'm the team leader for the Citizen Call for Emergency Evacuations. This is an organization put together at the time when the Sudan conflict started. This was on the 20th of April 2023.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, there are a lot of emergency response organizations. What gap did you see exactly to come up with Citizen Call?
We have seen a very big gap in terms of getting people directly from Sudan to the border of Sudan. So our main work was, because some of the international organizations that are working in South Sudan have no mandate to cross the border and help in Sudan. So what we have to do as a citizen, we came together as a team to find a way that we can raise funds, of which we actually managed to raise the fund to evacuate over 10,000 South Sudanese. Our main activities was in Sudan. We had 8 stations in Sudan where we have coordinators registering all the people who want to leave Sudan until the time when it becomes so difficult. A lot of people were rushing. So those areas we only send trucks, and each truck sometimes carried 300, 400 people, and even some truck carried over 500 people. When the war became so tough on the South Sudanese who were there, we found out everybody is willing to leave Sudan. What we were lacking is resources to make sure that we bring all of them. But we opened the way. Some of the South Sudanese left Sudan voluntarily on their own, and there were those whom we really support to leave Sudan. Some of the family also were rescued by their families that were in South Sudan. But we only focus on those who cannot afford to exit Sudan, but they were willing voluntarily to leave. We hired trucks from Sudanese business people to pick them up in different places like Javrona in Omdurman. We have Karari, Yusuf, Jabal Aulia, Gazaref, and also Elevate. So those areas, we pick people up from there. We use trucks to pick them up, and we use only one route, the one that come through Medani, Joda. That was the only safe route until recently, when it becomes so difficult for us to send the truck. So we continue now, for today, we have been sending money to families which have organized themselves so that they can find their way to come to the border.
Okay, when you were doing these activities within Sudan, where do you take these South Sudanese to? Do you just bring them to the border, drop them there, and they do whatever they want to do?
There is a transit camera. So our main work is to bring them up to Joda. And from Joda, they got received by the IOM, UNHCR, and also RRC, which is the government humanitarian agency effort. So this is it. Sometimes we were also involved in onward transportation, especially those who were wounded in Khartoum and those vulnerable family, elderly and children. We had a partnership with the MAF Aviation, Mission Fellowship Aviation, South Sudan, were helping us, and they have been really evacuating over 250 people from Ranga to here. So we did our best.
Yeah, someone may come up and say this is not supposed to be an initiative run by normal South Sudanese like we are. It's supposed to be a government kind of a program, and you took the initiative to yourself. What would you tell such a person who say, why are you doing this? It's supposed to be the government of South Sudan doing it because there is people.
There's one thing that I want to say to our generation, the South Sudanese generation. The good citizen make the good government. And the good citizen come out when there is a problem. You can volunteer. You don't have to be called to come and volunteer. You see the situation, don't hesitate. Come in. You are not taking anybody's idea. You have seen the danger. Yeah. Just be motivated by humanity. But we also see there is a huge gap that we need to fill. Because if there is no policy that goes deep to the Sudan to evacuate people, and we are getting a lot of information as an individual, we come out and fill that gap.
Knowing the economic situation of South Sudan, how did you manage to raise this fund to be able to help South Sudanese coming out of Sudan?
I really give credit to South Sudanese. South Sudanese are very generous. When they see the situation of their people is deteriorating, what you do, you give up your food today and give it to the person that is in need. So this is what we have actually experienced. People came out when we started the fundraising in John Grant Mausoleum. We were able to raise over 800,000. By then, I mean, $100 million. I mean, 100 million SSD. By then, it was equivalent to 100,000 US dollars. So we were able to get the trucks. The same thing we did, same fundraising in July 2024 in Radisson Blue. A lot of people came and they donate. So we actually getting 10,000 out of Sudan with the individual organization. We were backed by the Office of the First Lady and also Shagai Foundation. Having that work done, it is an effort of the citizens of South Sudan. So, and some of the partners, like MAF Aviation, were instrumental in trying to bring people from the border to Juba.
Okay, looking at this situation, well, there could be Sudanese also suffering throughout Sudan. Was there any possible way that you could mix South Sudanese with Sudanese who want to come out of such crisis, or you were strictly on South Sudanese?
Well, we were focusing on South Sudanese because there were South Sudanese who were in Sudan as a student. Some were there for medical attention, and also some went there as a result of 2013-2016 conflict. So they were there as refugees, and they have nothing. So we were targeting the South Sudanese who could be there in the conflict, and they want to go, but they have no means for them to leave. So we were focusing on that. Some few Sudanese were able also to escape the conflict using our means, but we did not say no, because this is the humanity. We are serving the purpose of humanity.
Looking at the current situation of the world, this could be a big business idea. Why would you turn it to humanitarian, or why would you make it something you use to help people? You're still a young man, you need a lot of money, but you turn it around and make it kind of a support for South Sudanese that are inside Sudan suffering, trying to get out.
The motivation, when you have a sense and a heart for humanity, it does not differentiate. Some people may call you that you are activists, but that is not what it means. If you look at Burkina Faso, Traoré is putting the country together because it is in his own heart to see that no disrespect comes to their people. And this is what is happening. You don't look at what can reach you. What can reach you come through the channel of your businesses. But as a person, you come out and volunteer. Citizen call for emergency evacuation was put together by a group of young people who were working in various institutions within the government. And also some people were running their own businesses. So it doesn't affect the businesses. You come out, find a way forward to raise funds to target a particular need. And we did it. So we should not be defined by greed. Let be defined by a sharing ideas, sharing of wealth, if whatever that we have, anything that at hand, we have to be motivated to go into a path of our great ancestors, because sharing is part of our culture. We are a communist, like a communal society. Whenever you have something, all your relatives come in and you share it. So we encourage that. We are not yet into a capitalist society. What is being practiced now is sometimes goes against our tradition of sharing. We came out boldly convince ourselves that the best way to help our people is to call on a citizen of South Sudan to contribute, call on partners to contribute so that we serve the life of the people. Doing business is a different thing. You can do a business and then find a way that that business is defined by taking care of the people, not by enriching yourself.
When such activities like this happen, there are a lot of challenges that come across. What is the most hardest thing that you went through with your team during this call?
One, too much politics, because our country have not yet understood the context of politics. Anything that you come up with as an idea, people see it that maybe you are trying to raise your profile. We are still dreaming of being a leaders. We are still dreaming of being a people who can do good things to make difference in the society. We need to get out of those dreams and be practically in the field. Nobody is trying to raise the profile, but we are here trying to find a way that we help our society better. People who are coming from Sudan are not the only ones suffering. We still have people in Kakuma refugee camp. We have people in Gambela, in a refugees camp, and they are South Sudanese. We have people in Uganda, refugees, and they are South Sudanese. So if we work together as a team in this country, as people who can trust each other, we will be able to move them out by bettering the security situation of our country. But because we are still in the dream that if someone takes an initiative, he may want to go somewhere. No, we are going to where we can save the life and reshape the image of South Sudan to look better. By trying, when there are issues, we volunteer so that we solve those issues. This emergency, citizens call emergency, can be a great emergency to pick people who are collapsed on the roadside. We can buy maybe 100 ambulance and get good drivers to be there on a standby. If someone collapses, we will have a number to be called and we'll come and pick them up. So this is how you start the country. You volunteer. I know there are some people who said we have volunteered for many years, so this time is the time to get the money. No, that's not true. You can still get the money while you are volunteering. You can still run on-site business and you can be there to volunteer to what improve the image of your country and the life of the people.
Exactly, on what category were you taking these people? How do you know this is really someone who needs help, this doesn't need help, and all this? What kind of category do you use to pick up these people?
We had centers in Sudan, and those centers, we create a website, we create a WhatsApp group, we create Twitter. So the people who are in America, Canada, Australia, UK, they have also some of their family members in Sudan. So when we said we have a citizen call here and we are hiring truck to pick up people who could not afford to come to South Sudan, they disseminate those information back to Khartoum and everybody become aware of the picking point. And in a short period of time, through our network, we were able to establish the coordinators in those centers. And the coordinators' contact were put on the Facebook. So the Facebook page were widely shared. So we were able to actually get information, and they get information also from us. Even when the pickup point was Ayusuf, when we got the truck, and the truck was confiscated by some group on the way, we were able to communicate with those armed group and let go our truck. You know why? Because we were an organization, an emergency. Everybody have insania. You have humanity. Those people, even though they were in the front line, they were having a humanity. So they were able to allow the truck to leave, to come to Jordan. So this was the point. We had a network.
So what do you want to say? You didn't care whether you are rich or poor. As long as you are in the center, you can be evacuated.
Yeah, as long as you are in the center, you can be evacuated. And we did not even discriminate. And even there was no tribal line. Everybody who is willing to leave, they left. There were some people who refused to come, and they are still suffering there. Now they have realized what we have seen. They did not see it back then. But now they realize they want to leave, but they cannot leave. And they are blaming themselves if we wish we could have left, and because it's a terrible situation. We saw it coming.
So when you were doing the evacuation, did you try to maybe divide people into tribes or something like that? Say that you say this tribe goes first and then the other tribe? Or?
Nope. We did not really distinguish any group. We did not. We just call on South Sudanese, and South Sudanese geographically is all South Sudanese from different tribes. So the center is there. People that we pick to be in charge of each center were not from one tribe. They are from different tribes, and there was no specific registration was done. But it doesn't matter. The first come, first serve. So we did not have any issues.
If we may go back a little bit, you say now you no longer do the evacuation, like you send money and something like that. Can you elaborate more on that thing? You send money to Sudan and those people be able to come, or how do you do it exactly?
Now it's become more risky for us to hire trucks. But what is happening now, we have been engaging in giving the family that have contacted us some budget. If the moment that we get some fund, we only send to those particular groups that have organized themselves, and they find their way to come. That's how we are doing it.
So now, where is Citizen Code after all this is over? Like, if it is over, where will Citizen Code go to?
If this situation is over, what will happen is we will establish. We have already registered as an organization. We have some ideas. If we get some funding, we will set up a center, get some maybe ambulance, anything ready to support any emergency situation in the country. But we will be working with the emergency department within the government.
Okay, you talk about you want to change the idea in case this is over, like into ambulance or emergency response. Don't you think it will collide with other people who are doing the same work around?
Well, the work of emergencies, it depends on the situation. If it is controlled, then it's okay. We still have issues of the people coming voluntarily from Uganda, from Kenya. There are some issues. Now we have already been engaged in Vilna, and also in Gudeli. There is a place called Eden. Nobody knows. One day the government may say, okay, this citizen called group can be given a name so that they respond to some of the issues. And we can do it for the government, on the government behalf, or we can partner with other organizations that are willing to really respond to some of the need within the country.
Okay, looking at your job since you started until now, how many, if you may estimate, like how many South Sudanese have you removed from Sudan or evacuated from Sudan that are currently with their family or reunited with their families?
Up to today, we have evacuated 10,500 South Sudanese since the beginning of the evacuation.
Okay. Looking at your way back and the forward, what do you see the future will bring?
Well, we will have to look at Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, empower that ministry to study the situation before it become an emergency. Because when the emergency comes, it will overwhelm. Because the emergency are there. There is a natural disaster, man-made disaster, and when they come in and the ministry is not prepared, it is very difficult. Even when the citizens, like such as the team that we put together, come forward, people will see that there is an overlap of response. And an overlap of response create a political tension and issues, an assumption that some other people want to do our work. And that is not true. They have to come up with those guidelines. If there are citizens who want to volunteer, we can volunteer through that ministry. We can do fundraising and give the money to the ministry. If there is a program like that in place, we don't have to do it. But because there was nothing of that kind, that is when we did independently. because we want people to deal with people that are really affected within Sudan. We do not really want to respond to any issues in South Sudan because there is a government and there is also humanitarian agencies that are available to respond to such cases.
Okay, you guys have been so much into these humanitarians about citizen code. Maybe another person in another country around the world may want to learn from you. What are some of the things you will tell the person next time if you want to start something like citizen code somewhere in the world? What are some of the things, what are guidelines that you will give such a person?
Well, you know, emergencies agencies are also put to target particular issues. We would advise an institution to have a strategy for early warning. Should something happen, then there is a strategy in place that can only be built. For example, when this war broke out on the 15th of April 2023 in Sudan, we spent some time to see whether there was going to be a response to bring the people. We have seen many other countries going in and remove their own citizens. South Sudan did not do it. You know, maybe because of political or diplomatic issues, I don't know. We just got out from Sudan as an independent country. So maybe there is that still relationship on how the situation can be addressed. When we see no response to bring people from Sudan, and we have been hearing a lot of news, we said, okay, let's try our best to provide an opportunity for the people who want to come out. So when we tried, it became big because the South Sudan citizens responded. It was responded also in diaspora. So it was just a collective effort. As I could advise the ministry have to have a strategy to accept also the citizens who are willing to volunteer. It is not everybody who want to come and sit down and be paid full time. No, you can just be volunteer person, and you can be supported with the Masalat to go back home and come back to work next day at a period of time, because everybody have his own job. So for some individual to come forward to have an organization that can evacuate people, it needs a lot of energy and effort. And there are a lot of challenges which we have experienced, but we overcome them because we did not look at what they are trying to say. Because the more we spend time to look at the negative energies, we will not achieve what we have to achieve. So next time you don't have to listen. If you have an idea and you are inspired to make difference in the community, focus on that aspiration. But don't wait for someone to tell you do it. Or don't wait for someone who is saying you are scammers, you are this, you are that. No, don't. Because these are the negative forces that are in our society. And the reality is we have to exist with them. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. If you may look at your program since it started until now, as a leader of this initiative, what have you learned from this personally?
I've learned that there is too much resiliency in our society. Nobody is investing in those resiliencies. If we invest in those resiliencies and hard work, we can turn the image of this country to better. I've learned a lot. Our people are very cooperative. Our people are very energetic, and they are very patriotic. They love this country. It's only to guide it. That is what is needed. We need effort, like a collective effort, to work together to make sure we guide whatever that come across, so that we go into a great future of South Sudan.
What would be your last message to South Sudanese?
My last message to South Sudanese is that South Sudan is a great country. Let's join our hand, unite our heart, our ideas, to be able to respond to the situation that is affecting our people. Thank you.
Thank you.